This is TransAfricaRadio.
All right, that was AKA with KFS a song, and before that, Brain the Tool coming out of Nigeria with Let Go. Before that, Ricardo Bax with Katapot. The time right now is 18:04. That is PM Central African Time, and I present to you Gigi LaMayne. Hi, Gigi.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yeah, nice to have you. And I mean, we had a quick chat off air.
Yeah.
It just feels natural already. So I don't have to give you that whole pep talk of it's not an interview, it's a conversation. Yeah. I think you're a natural at this point.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So Gigi was born Genesis Gabriella Tiny Manny.
Tina.
Tina. Okay.
Yeah.
Genesis, firstborn.
First girl, beginning of a new chapter for my parents. They were going through some really hectic stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, man, it was just like a new beginning for them. So they decided to name me that. That didn't work out, but yeah. So that's where Genesis is from.
And Gigi growing up, who was Gigi at 5, at 12, before the mic, before the poetry, before the rhythm, and all of that? Who was Gigi?
Gigi was a very naughty kid, I think.
Okay.
I was a tomboy. And I mean, at the time, I think because I had an older brother, it was almost like I had to be like very good in terms of like making sure that my parents were happy with a lot of things like school and, you know, just getting the right grades and stuff. But I was very undercover naughty, and because I was delivering in terms of like you know, my studies, it was very difficult for them to reprimand me. And I think that's what just like sparked a bit of a rebellion. I was always like against something somebody would try to do or something somebody would try to say. And I mean, like looking back now, I clearly had an infatuation with a lot of things, like you know, just simply music. You know, I was talking to my mom the other day about how I look back now, and I played Brenda Fassie at my preschool class.
Oh, that's amazing.
And that's so weird. And there are pictures from it where like I'm dressed up like her, and so I think it's always been something that's been embedded. But because, you know, I was shy at selective times and I didn't really know who I wanted to be, and because I was also generally the above average student at school, I think that also confused me a bit in terms of the arts. I never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing today. Never.
And I mean, for the day that you decide that, you know what, I'm going to push my music and I'm going to do it full time. How did that conversation go down with the folks?
You know what, because moms had been through so much already, I feel like it was just organic. Like my mom would be like, you know what, all you need to do is deliver in terms of the schooling stuff, get that stuff out of the way and do whatever you want with your life, and I'm going to support you. And I think when it first started, she thought it was a hobby. I mean, my mom paid for my first time in studio, she paid for my first video, and it was kind of weird how she'd see me winning and she was with me the whole time, you know. And a lot of extended family were like, but why would you let her do that? Why would you let her go into something that's so uncertain, something that doesn't, you know, it's not guaranteed? And she rolled with it and said, hey, she's like that mom at family gatherings, like, oh, yeah, she's on this shirt, you know. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
And were you sure about it when you were like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to give it my all? Was there some doubt? Were you worried? Did you think maybe I should just go and do a law or an accounting like other kids, or were you always sure?
I believe I was, you know, it's not even about being sure. It's about wanting something so bad, you know that life will never be the same without it. And I think for me, it was never, I was willing to fail, but it was going to be hard for that to even happen because I was so passionate about it, you know. So I think I always compare it to like a calling in the African culture, you know, a calling where so many things happen wrongly because you're choosing the path that was not initially intended for you. So I mean, I was studying, and luckily everything I studied had to do with media and entertainment and, you know, human behavior and politics. So when the rap, it just enhanced everything else, you know, my knowledge, you know, my experiences in life as a rapper. And I think because of that, it was just guns blazing, but I couldn't do anything else. I remember like looking back at one of my sociology books, adverts, and their lyrics at the back of the book.
So I assume you were in class?
Yeah, I was in class, and and one of the lecturers knew, my media lecturer knew. So sometimes I'd be writing down, and she'd be like, Miss Manny, what do you think about? But because I was so clued up, I'd like spin it, you know, like make it seem like really great. Yeah, no, that is a good point. So let's just.
He was like, okay, back to my lyrics.
Yeah, back to my lyrics. You know, so yeah.
And what has it been like? I think so you always had the music entertainment thing in you, but there was probably a time when nobody knew who on earth Gigi was, right? And you had friends who knew you as just Genesis or Gabby or Tina, whatever they called you, and all of a sudden they switch on their radios and here you are. What is that transition like in terms of relationships, in terms of just you, the going through your mind? What was going through your mind at that time when it's like, oh my gosh, that is me, I'm a thing?
Like, I became a cool kid overnight, and the weird part is it started happening already when I was at Wits, but like in high school there were little people would see me on TV or hear me on radio. But I think for me the biggest thing I needed to put out there was I need to make sure I'm everywhere in my high school bully's face.
Oh, you know? Okay. I see you.
When one of the boys from one of our classes tweeted, yo, I heard you on XFM, whatever FM, and that song is really cool and I'm proud of you. I was like, just got into the right place. I know he's going to tell so-and-so, he's going to tell so-and-so, and this is going to eventually come up. So I think even for that, because it's something I've dealt with it, but it's also just my own sweet revenge. I think for me, every time something plays on radio or TV, it's more like I just need to make people understand that this bullying thing is out of hand.
Yeah, so you were bullied,
no, girl, badly.
Really?
But I'm a superstar now.
You're a superstar. I can't imagine anybody bullying you, Gigi. I can't imagine it. Like, what were they even, how were they bullying you? Were they taking your lunch money? Were they being mean girls? What was it?
Because teachers couldn't reprimand me because I always delivered in terms of my academics, I almost became like a teacher's pet type of thing. Unintentionally so. Sometimes you don't ask for it, like they like me, just like you know, and it's like and you'd stay in at break while they're marking books and help them and pack stuff, not because you're trying to get anything from them, but that was just the person I was, you know. And I mean, my mom was away, so I needed a lot of maternal love, and some of that maternal love I got from teachers at school. So I mean, people would see that I'd be like really close to this teacher, Mr. or Mrs. whoever, and that would be a thing, you know. Gosh. And then I played for Gauteng netball.
That didn't help.
That didn't help. I was just doing everything at school, and I did it well. And I think that you're also prone to be victim if you're like you're destined to be great. So I think you just become an immediate. I mean, there was somebody who was speaking about off air, like a certain female, it girl. Yeah, and she's target only because she's slaying so hard.
Absolutely.
You know, so I think that was what happened. In hindsight, from what I know now, that's probably what happened.
Alrighty. And when did you start writing lyrics? I think that's when. Let's get to the music. When did that start?
Lyrics started at about. Well, lyrics, I mean, I'd always been writing poetry, and I wasn't very vocally gifted. Of course, now we're in 2017, so anyone can sing. But I mean, back then I was just like really good at writing, and so I started off with poetry, and then I just felt like I could do it, but it wasn't getting to where I wanted it to be. And my mom was like, yo, why don't you try that stuff like Lauryn Hill, where she like talks over the beats. I was like, you mean rapping? Like,
yeah, that thing.
Yeah, that thing. So I started doing it, and shout out to Rashid. Like, he's one of the people who discovered me, and he's pushed me from day one. He's not even like part of management anymore, but he's like my confidant. He's my advisor when I have issues. Like, he's there for me. He's also like one of my best friends. Yeah. So I mean, like with people like him, I had to be exposed into that, and I was lucky because I started from the underground. You know, where you would freestyle battle, you would, you know, enter competitions and then work your way up. So I think, I mean, I left a lot of people behind even. Like, that's why I'm saying I never expected myself to be here now. But I'm grateful for the journey and for the fact that I experienced so much, whether it's from the poetry or the freestyling or the battling or the competitions and whatnot. Yeah.
So what you basically did like many, I think, hip-hop artists lately, they kind of skip that phase of the battles and everything. They kind of just blow up. Yes. But that kind of gives you a different appreciation for hip-hop and the culture.
Exactly, girl. And I think it also like the backbone is on fleek. Yeah. You know, like I cannot, if I want something and my team knows, like shout out to Theo, she's also here. She's part of management. My team also knows, like yesterday, for instance, she wanted me to wear something and I was just like, nah. You know, for the you know, it's just like little things like that where you can stand up for yourself. And I know a lot of artists can't do that, and that's why they get themselves, you know, into very dicey situations. But because of that, because of the bullying, because of the underground experience, and you know, being a female and somebody's going at you, telling you look like this and you look like, I feel like nothing can be. Not even Twitter, girl.
Many disses, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like I've heard it all. So now, like even on Twitter, I'm like, run along and play now. You know, because I'm so used to it. Yeah.
And I mean, when you thank the people around you, besides your mom and the people and your friends that are around you, and some people who are in management, who else would you say was just kind of there on some, look, dude, you can actually just do this thing. You really can.
I'm very unfortunate, man. I'm very unfortunate in the sense that, like, a lot of people fell off because they weren't ready. You know, people often say, you've changed. Sometimes it's the people around you that changed because of what they're seeing happen to you. I don't know if that makes sense.
100%.
Yeah, you know? So you start, like, they start being demanding and they start expecting things on your behalf. It's like that guy who's in the hood who has a car and he looks really cool driving the car, and he's got a friend. You know, that friend will holler at every girl like
Absolutely.
it's his car. Yeah, but you're not even the owner of the car. And I think that's what happened to a lot of people when I was with them. And I've been fortunate that people like Rashid, like my producer Jay Twin, people who started with me like from the ground up before anybody knew my name. You know, I'm lucky that people like that would be like, I don't like that situation with that person, watch out. And even when I didn't listen, I got burnt and I learned from it and I moved myself away.
Alrighty.
So
I can imagine people asking you to organize bottles in the club.
Girl,
in friends.
Somebody told me I don't drink this, I now drink this.
How?
I always drink that. Like, why are you doing this? You know, so I think for most of it, I think that's how people sort of, and obviously they're the friends that have, I mean, Gemma, one of my best friends, Tolagele, one of my best friends, who've been with me through the journey, who've never changed. And even if we speak once or twice a week, it's enough for them. Like, it's not like you're neglecting. So they were also friends who felt like, oh, she's neglecting us.
Oh, now she's famous. Okay, yeah.
So I was just like, I was over that. I need to sleep at night.
Alrighty, now I'm going to play My Ugly Boy, which is actually my favorite song. And I play it every single week. And my mom sings along with it now because, right? Yeah, my mom knows the lyrics. So I'm going to play My Ugly Boy. When we come back, I definitely want to speak about this song.
Yeah.
The time right now is 20 minutes past 6 p.m. That is Central African time, and we're still in studio with Gigi LaMayne. Of course, send through all your comments, your posts, whatever it is. If you want to keep it old school, you can give me a call. That is on +27 1144777176, or drop me a WhatsApp on +27 79 254 4329 on WhatsApp there was, and then on Twitter at TransAfrica872 or at Thando _Mthonti Umolaso Omuhle there. And of course, whatever you want to say to Gigi, she will definitely find that out. So Gigi, that song, right? My Ugly Boy.
Yes.
Let's chat. Let's chat.
I just think pretty boys are overrated now.
Are you serious?
I swear. Like, I just feel like there's nothing other than your physical appearance that you can offer me. You know? And for the longest time, I was attracted to the Chris Brown and the crew, to the Trey songs of the team, of the squad, and I got my heart broken, you know. And I just feel like this song was also very as much as people think it's like really lighthearted and funny, you know, it's also just about teaching the kids about not like giving into the aesthetics of life. You know, getting yourself into a situation where you only like the person because they look this way, you know, not necessarily because of who they are. So as much as it's lighthearted, it definitely came from a good place of growth.
Yes. And that was from obviously from past experiences. So how many pretty boys broke your heart, Gigi?
Girl. You see their relationships ending, but there's just some where you're just like, you're a low down dirty. You know, like, yeah. But I think the previous one, like that one, the one before the song. I think that got me.
Yeah. My God. And you have won hip hop awards. You're 4-time, right? Hip hop award winner.
Well, I'm also a winner at Women, the Real Architects of Society. I'm happy about that because it's not even about music. You know, it's just about, you know, there was the Rising Star Award and there was the but basically the Slayer in your field type of thing. So I won those two. But the reason why I'm highlighting those is because it's beyond the music, and that's kind of where I want to be. I don't want to just be known for my music. There's lots of things. I want to go into philanthropy. I want to go into, you know, a whole lot of businesses. That's where my vision is. So
and I mean, you've become quite a big deal. Nicki Minaj, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem. What does that even feel like? Well, like I think there's so many hip hop artists out there who can just never ever claim that. They just can't. Right? What does that even mean to you?
Nikki read that post, man. The hot new hip hop post. And she tweeted about it. Like, oh my gosh, she probably read my name. Like, she's heard my name now. Like, you know. But for me, yo, that hot new hip hop thing has changed everything. I've got a few cool celebrities following me now on Instagram. It's crazy, Thando. Like, it's happening now. And you know when you know you've arrived? Like, this is going to be my year, my decade. Like, you know, because I'm very much about South Africa, don't get me wrong. But I just feel like Africa needs an export that's going to go out and represent them, you know? There are lots of people, I mean, Rihanna reps Barbados, you know? And I'm not saying I have to do that by going to live there. I mean, we have people like Wizkid and D'banj who are constantly traveling and doing that for Nigeria. So South Africa, I think we definitely need to beef it up music-wise, you know? And shout out to people like Black Coffee who've gone against the grain and done amazing things. But I do think there's a gap, especially for females right now. For me, the last slayers were like what? Your Brenda Fassies, Makebas. We need a female that's consistent. We can see growth. They're building something, and unfortunately, I've taken on the challenge.
And I mean, those are big shoes to fill, right?
Exactly.
And just the audacity for Gigi to think that she can. Where does that come from? Just to be like, you know, it's like, what do I have? That, you know what I'm saying? What do I lack that?
If anything, I think it also stems from like a situation where you're young, you're growing up, and you have boys around you, and daddy loves the boys, and it's always just like you stay at home or you get second best. To, you know, being in a situation where people think you're not gonna finish your degree at Wits, where people it's just like the odds are always stacked against you. And I think because I expect that to be the case, I fight harder, you know, because I know that you probably think I can't do it. And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, I'm gonna show you, because my whole life I've just been, I'm like, when am I gonna stop showing you? Like, you know what I'm saying? When are you gonna look at me and be like, you can do it? You know, so,
and I mean, you wrote a song, Daddy Issues. Let's unpack that one. One. So I think that's one we can, where you can have a genuine message about it as well.
Yo, daddy issues was just stuff I needed to get off my chest for the longest time. I love my dad. Like, I love him. There's just a lot of things that didn't need to happen, you know, and a lot of, I mean, the abuse at home, my mom having to go through what she went through, the divorce was really nasty, didn't have to get there. I just needed a father, you know. I think there can be somebody, I always say, I would have preferred if he wasn't there to begin with. I think it's very difficult when he's in the household but he's not active as a parent, and I felt that, like, he just sit there in his chair. It was, you know, alcohol Thursday to about Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday he's grumpy because he's not on that life, so he takes it out on moms physically or whatever. So it's just like a whole lot of things, and people can read about it. Like, it's something that I'm proud to have gone through. And I think I've moved past it now. But it's just, I shouldn't have come out of this to be where I am. No way. And I think that's why everything's so overwhelming, because I know there's so many girls, so many kids like that, you know, especially in you know, African homes where he's there but he's not there
100%.
You know, he'd forget your birthday, he'd like he'd be impressing friends, and everybody at home thinks everything's amazing, but when he gets home everyone's like scared of him and no one wants to, like,
and I mean, if you were a star student, so those award nights,
you know what I'm saying? I would have really loved to. There are lots of things I would have loved to have with my dad, you know, and it's just a constant feeling of not being enough. You know, and I think that's what Daddy Issues was about, like me just offloading everything, talking about everything, and putting that to rest. And I think in the end, I say I forgive you. You know, I forgive you, because if all that hadn't happened, I don't know, I'd probably be somewhere else. And I mean, I was about to say this, that I think we need to sit down and acknowledge your ability to come out of that situation, you know, and pretty much okay. And I mean, the ability to speak about it openly and honestly. I think lots of people wouldn't. They don't. And I think that's an important message, Gigi. I think in a few years' time, that might have to be a story that you tell over and over again. Because there's, like you said, in many African homes, that's the situation. You know? People be like, don't talk about it because people outside. Yo, we had that so much. Really? Like, yo, moms is hella with the makeup game. You know, she had been hiding. You know, she had been hiding her blue eyes, and like, she's hella with the makeup game. So we knew all about that. We knew all about that, and you know, yo, shout out to my mom. She's my strength. She's guys, I don't deserve her.
You don't,
I don't deserve her.
You must.
She's just, yo, my mom. Yeah.
And I mean, you're signed to Dream Team SA.
No, Mabala Noise.
Mabala Noise. Oops. Oopsie. Okay, so that means what I have here is.
Oh no, it's okay.
Okay. Mabala Noise, hey?
Yeah, no, I left Dream Team. Shout outs to them, man. Like they did a lot for me in my career, but I just needed something greater. And no, there was no 5 million Thando.
Yes. Thank you for getting that
out the way. Because trust me, girl, if I had 5 million, you would see it. You know, I'm just that person. So I think Mabala Noise. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy, but I just want to put this into perspective for everyone who's listening. When you have major record labels around the world that continue to exploit artists, where money is passed on from one man to another to another to another, and by the time you get stuff, that stuff is under some other person's name, and you decide to leave and take control of your career, you're told that what are you talking about? We're recuperating. We're going to take this from you and that from you and that from you. I think people need to understand that that's been the case with a lot of majors, and for the very first time we have somebody who's people who are indie. It's unfortunate that, not really unfortunate, but it's just like because the CEO of Mabala Noise is a politician, you know. But I think people need to understand that there's so much he could be doing with what he earns that isn't really investing back. 100%. And for the very first time, somebody has shed light on that, on the industry, and especially in the South African industry, how messed up things are, and they're willing to take all that onto their backs and run with it. It's not an easy thing. You're fighting against the biggest corporates that have been around for hundreds of years, and things like that are going to happen. So I think this is also just like a social sabotage situation, you know. So I mean, shout out to Ricky. I know he left. Well, according to him, he left. Yeah, that's just
that's
story,
another one.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we all know what we get ourselves into, you know, whether it's a contract or whatever. At the end of the day, we're all brands. We know what we get ourselves into. And I trust that even if it does mean that he's left properly now contractually, that there's going to be a bright future for him. But there's no reason to slander something that's going to be big for another, you know, little boy or girl growing up who doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much that goes into a record label and building it, guys. And for somebody to reach out to a Tiger, you know, somebody to reach out to a French Montana and acknowledge the fact that Nasty C has got a very special talent that needs to be embraced by the rest of the world. For somebody to go and invest in that and say, we need to be on this scale as an African child. We can't afford for any other artist to go broke like a Brenda, like a Zombo, all these people. I think people need to acknowledge that, you know. Yeah, and shout out to Mabala Noise, man. I'm diehard Mabala, unfortunately, to everyone. And I just wish people would understand.
Yeah, that it's
nothing
deeper
is
than
completely. Yeah, it's deeper than all this, man. Like people are talking about things being taken that make people happy, and people are talking about government things, and I'm just saying, like, there's so much else that this guy could do with what he has, but he's decided to feed it back into the same voice box that's used to communicate to the youth. What a powerful tool, and what a great gift to us as artists. Yeah.
Alrighty, and the time right now is 18:31. I am playing Daddy Issues by Gigi. Are you happy with that selection? Would you like
wait. I think Daddy Issues got some cussing. Are we allowed to cuss here?
We do.
Oh, okay, cool.
We do. Okay. We do. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Gigi LaMayne with the baddest remix there. And before that, Gigi LaMayne, Daddy Issues. That's a deep song. I think, do not sleep on that one. I think that's a deep song. And I think, yeah. And I know you don't want to capitalize on that one, but I think it's a really, really, really deep song. And I'll definitely play it again next week. I think next week we'll dissect it. We'll go into it. Gigi, you say in 5 years' time you want to be one of the greatest acts in Africa.
Yeah.
Right? Which kind of aligns with a lot of TransAfrica's vision and just kind of putting Africa on. And you said we need an export, right? What are we doing now to make sure that we get there in 5 years' time?
I think for one, we've started moving into we've started going along with the global phenomena, you know, but still keeping our content very localized, very, you know, within, but we're not afraid to share. And I think with technology, I mean, there was a crazy summit we went to last week about just like artificial intelligence and you know, the takeover of technology. And I think once musicians in our right begin to understand those things, begin to understand what it means to get your song on this platform or that, then we'll start seeing things like that happen, you know. But it's just like taking risks.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. And I mean, you're thinking differently. You're a musician, and of course you do spend your time in studio, but you're also now attending conferences about artificial intelligence. So what you're trying to do is trying to make sure that if there's an opportunity, you're there.
And there are already like a lot of ideas and a lot of insight into just like even the power of social media, you know, and how Facebook still remains one of the most powerful platforms, you know, despite the entry of so many other social media platforms. Like, it's just like crazy how fast information can go, and information includes content, includes tracks, artwork, just like so many things. So I think with me sitting there with, I mean, there was this guy, what was his name? But he creates machines. There's somebody in South Africa right now creating a car that moves on its own, and
yeah, that's incredible.
He gave us these like really cool helicopters that I've been flying around around the house. So it's just like also trying to find out how music can be embedded into all that.
Yeah,
you know.
I think that makes you different. I think that makes you very, very different. I've interviewed quite a few musicians, but I mean, and it's okay for it to be about the music and so on. But your mind, it goes to other places, eh?
It's girl, good bird. It's quite bird. Yeah.
and how does your management even deal with the fact that Gigi now artificial intelligence, now Gigi's like this, like in there? Do you think they're just like, yo, this one?
Actually, this one. Actually, that is a problem, because like Theo and I will like discuss that. Sometimes we don't even do it like with management knowing, and then we just do it, and then it becomes a sensation. For instance, that whole Gigi Goes Gold thing, we had a competition, and before you know it, like different media platforms talking about it, and it completely blows up online. And at first I know that if I had gone to them with the idea, they would be like, nah, I think we need to focus to the plan. Guys, there's nothing I hate like plans.
How?
Like, I don't mind things being structured, but like when it's too like, no, then we do this, end of this, and then we do, like, if something really cool comes to mind and there's nothing to lose, do it.
Okay.
You know, and I think they're managing with my wandering mind, especially when it comes to social media. They're always just like, no, don't do it. Like every time I say something shady on Twitter, one of our guys, management was saying yesterday, you tweeted that, what was that about? You know, he's trying to ask questions because he's just like, people are constantly in this scare mode, like I'm gonna drop a
bomb or something. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
And I mean, you've also been to the UK.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. Across, this is out of the African continent now. This is international, Gigi. It's. I mean, it starts small. It always does.
Yeah.
But you've been there. What happened in the UK?
I studied in the UK for a bit. I did my GCSEs there.
What is a GCSE?
A GCSE is equivalent to like just before matric. And I was selected as a student top 5 in South Africa to go to Stowe School in Buckingham, sponsored by Richard Branson, and we got to like meet with him, work with him, discuss being entrepreneurs. It's kind of weird because I was always set out on journalism, and like now I'm becoming an entrepreneur, and it was never the plan. But he's proud. Like he checks on us once a year, just to see where we're at. And out of the 35 scholars, I'm currently doing the most.
Oh yeah.
So
yes, honey.
In your face. But shout out to him.
And with the music, it's probably, so I'm sure everyone else is pushing maybe a corporate thing, but you're in the music. You're probably that black sheep, that outcast, that one who just kind of different.
Yeah, it's such a problem. It's such a problem, but I think that's just what makes me stronger. You know, it's what makes me stronger in a lot of ways, and I'm just grateful, man, for the experiences, for Richard Branson. I met Richard Branson.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. And he checks on you, and
you're active. And Richard Branson, you know, like. Yeah.
I have here a tweet from a WhatsApp from Thando, and Thando says, please ask Gigi what she's doing for young girls in South Africa.
So there's this crazy idea I came up with, and management is so gonna like shoot me for this.
Okay.
But I want to have an annual slumber party.
Oh my gosh.
For girls. I'm still trying to figure out the age group, but I think I want like teens to be there, and they just get to. So obviously it's gonna be a competition. I'm still trying to figure out how they get to. I'm probably thinking something to do with their reports at the end of a certain term, and just something in the arts that they're doing. So whether they send me a monologue, them acting out something, or them singing, and then they screen grab their report with their highest mark, just like hashtag Black Girl Magic slang type of thing. And then that's probably how we're going to shortlist. And I just want to be in this place. I'm speaking to my old school because it's got a boarding house set up, and we're just going to go there and have a crazy slumber party, watch movies, cry, people talk about their problems, and like just love each other. So it's this movement that we're going to do across the country. And we're still deciding. I think it'd be cool if we did a city to city thing as well, but I think we're going to start in Joburg this year. But that's what I'm doing. I just need girls to be able to relate to somebody who's there if they're thinking of going there. And I just feel like they don't have access to us. We just seem like demigods on social media.
Oh, I know what you mean.
And it'll be so cool for a girl from X Township to be able to sit in a room with me and ask me anything, and I'm able to share knowledge with them, and we're just doing cool stuff. And they're also able to talk to each other, because as much as the school setting is cool, it's just so much better having somebody who's like-minded somewhere else in a different place, who's gonna, who knows, we might just have little companies starting, so yeah.
So that idea is sick.
Yeah,
okay, so when you get on that, please call us.
Yes, please, yeah.
Actually, I think I'll do an outside podcast.
Please.
Yes,
so
Girls Gone Wild.
That's what I want to do with them, and I think it's going to be... I can see us like in our pajamas.
Well, Thando, there you have it, and I think that's pretty different. I think, in a world where it seems like everything's been done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that is really cool.
Girl.
So, yeah, right.
Girl. I'm so excited.
Alrighty, so we are playing Jungle Fever, which is definitely one of Gigi's one of those ones that everybody knows. Do enjoy, and when we return, Gigi LaMayne is still here with us.
This is TransAfrica Radio.